Alright, so this video is going to be very little editing. Basically, I'm just going to go through my vinyl collection, talk about what I got, and probably say a little bit about each vinyl as I go. So, I have it starting with my reggae vinyls. First one, Peter Tosh, Bush Doctor. This is really cool. I have a hard time finding a lot of Peter Tosh vinyls. So, honestly, that's the only one I got in my collection so far. Of course, I have Legends by Bob Marley, and this one is one of those yellow variants. Real pretty. Or, I guess, gold. And once again, this is still in my reggae section, which I will keep in a pile as I go forward. Next, we have Live. So this is actually where the main recording of No Woman, No Cry comes from. You know, when you can hear all the feedback and everything. That's off of this album, and I believe it was recorded live in London. Next, Burning, which is the Wailers. This came up before Bob Marley became Bob Marley and the Wailers and was still just the Wailers. So this is one of their earlier projects. A couple really cool songs on this one. You know, I like the art, of course. Get Up, Stand Up is one of my favorite songs in general. I Shot the Sheriff, Burning and Looting are on this. Small Axe, Debbie Conqueror. I really like Rastaman Chant as well. Next, Survival. So this has a bunch of my other favorite Bob Marley songs. One Drop, for example, is one of the absolute. And Ride Natty Ride is another great song, just off of Survival. Then Uprising. And this has my personal favorite Bob Marley song, Real Situation, which is, you know, talking about society. Hey, ain't no use, no one can stop them now. And Confrontation, which is the last album in that series of Survival, Uprising, Confrontation. This one has a lot of really cool art, and of course the actual like image on front is inspired by like a biblical fight against the dragon, you know. Of course, this is where a couple great songs come out of. Buffalo Soldiers off of this album, so that gets a lot of points from there. And I like to keep these three in a row. Now, I think this album actually got a little out of place. This is the Frog Prince, which is a Kermit the Frog production. It's basically like a mini storybook. So, like, you could literally go section by section. It's showing the pictures. It's like having a Muppets movie on vinyl, and I really like it. But once again, a little bit out of place. That's not technically in my reggae collection. That's just kind of my one-off. Fun fact, I'm a big Muppets fan. Now, Mike Love, The Change I'm Seeking. And this is that song, Permanent Holiday, is off of this one. So that went pretty like viral because of his ability to actually play with loopers and everything. Really cool album to see. And that'll be going next to Marley. Oh, so Kaya, which is another great album off of Bob Marley. Apparently some of these are out of order. But this, of course, has Kaya on it, and Time Will Tell, which is my favorite closing song off of the Bob Marley album. Next, so this is a special pressing of Mike Love's second album, which is, you know, Love Will Find a Way. And the vinyl is actually a really lovely red on these ones. I don't think I have too many red vinyls. Actually, that Peter Tosh vinyl was red. But just like, as a quick example, you know, I really love when they have some nice colorage. And then this is a limited run. I ordered this right off of his website when it came out. He's one of the modern reggae like musicians I enjoy. You know, so this is 221 of 1,000 with a little signature on it. And I believe that's it for my reggae collection. Yeah, back to that Peter Tosh vinyl that I was talking about. This is another red one with a little bit of an interesting swirl. Next, it's almost a classic rock section. Well, you know, there's, I guess I shouldn't call it that, but I have London Calling by The Clash, which is one of my favorite albums in general, once again. It's very genre bendy, like there's so many things. I did a whole video on this album. Then I have System of a Down, Toxicity. Once again, more of that rock-oriented stuff. This is actually one of my wife's albums, which is Death from Above, The Physical World. You know, I like it. I enjoy it. I just haven't talked about it much. I would really have to listen and pay attention to it to talk about it in a better sense. Now, this is actually a specialty album that my wife once again ordered. I haven't listened through this, but I appreciate the artwork on it. I know it's a Jimmy Urine and Serj Tankian project. Oh yeah, maybe I shouldn't show that. I might have to edit that out. But it's got a really cool swirl to it too. I'll have to listen to that. And once again, maybe I'll have to edit that out, but we'll find out eventually. Then it's back to that more rock-oriented jam space. So obviously I have Workingman's Dead. And then I also have, I want to say this album's Abraxas. Yeah, it's upside down. But this is on like a special pressing that has like the coloring and the art on it. Pretty cool. Grateful Dead. I was a pretty big Grateful Dead fan for quite a while. That's more of my classic rock-ish style of music. Or I guess just regular rock. Next, Pink Floyd, Dark Side of the Moon. I mean, I don't think I need to talk about this album too much. Everybody should know about this album. Everybody kind of has listened to it. It's a great album. I have a 5-year-old who, for whatever reason, absolutely loves Pink Floyd. I don't know why. I mean, that's cool, but like I don't push it on him or anything. I'm guessing it's just the artwork. Also, The Wall. You know, The Wall is a really cool album, of course. And for some reason, he really likes this album as well. Now we're getting more into my hip-hop area. So I have College Dropout, you know, the white variant of it. And then Kanye into all of my Kendrick records. I have Good Kid, Mad City, you know, great record, absolutely amazing. This is the deluxe edition. I've talked about this before. Next, we have To Pimp a Butterfly, you know, also really great record. Obviously, if you listen to a lot of hip-hop, I'm pretty sure you know about this one. From there, Untitled, Unmastered, which I really love. More Kendrick stuff. Of course, I have Damn. You know, this is another great piece. Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers. And I'm a big fan of this one as well. I believe I have a different coloration of the pressing. It's like that brown sort of color. You know, really matches the art, really matches the pieces. I like when albums have a little extra sleeve to them. Like this album has, you know, obviously that picture as well as the side B, which has a different photo on it. And that's the start of my hip-hop section. I think a lot of my records are hip-hop specifically. I got Alligator Bites Never Heal. I fell in love with Doechii as soon as I started to hear this project, as soon as I started to hear people talking about her more. I'm really excited that there's so much good going on. And then this is one of those special vinyls too. Like it's see-through, you know, it has a hazel sort of color to it. Really nice. I'm a big fan. Continuing on from there, I've really been getting into Outkast. So, of course, this is Southernplayalisticadillacmuzik. Absolutely great first album by him. Next, I have ATLiens, which is also a really cool album. Like, the artwork in particular, they had a comic book artist design the front. Now, Aquemini took me a little while to really catch on to, but this has become one of my favorite albums of all time. Like, it's so incredible. I've talked about the last couple songs on this album before, I believe. Liberation, I absolutely love. Spodioti Doublelicious, like that's, oh my god, I love the horns in it. Outkast. And then Stankonia, which is another Outkast album. I guess the Rolling Stones ranked it, like, on their list of the top 250 albums. This is their #1 hip-hop album. It's a great album, like, I absolutely love it, but once again, Aquemini is my favorite Outkast album. Next, this is a special pressing of Megan's album. So it's a butterfly variant, I believe. And this also has a lovely coloration to it. Like, I really like the blue on it. However, I think I didn't get a great pressing of this. Like the first side of track, side A, it has a couple moments where it skips around, so not exactly, a little bit of a disappointment. Otherwise, I like the music on it, it's just the skipping, like, brand new. From there, we have J.I.D, The Never Story. Absolutely amazing. I really love All Bad. I don't hear a lot of people talking about that song, but that's one of my favorite J.I.D songs. And then The Forever Story, which is probably one of the best albums that has came out of the 2020s so far. This is amazing. I'm really looking forward to hearing more J.I.D. Now then, continuing on, we're starting into my MF Doom bag. This is The Man in the Mask, which is Danger Doom, which is a collaboration between MF Doom and Danger Mouse. A lot of these songs are inspired by Adult Swim. I didn't have Adult Swim samples. Of course, I have Food, which I don't have the newest variation of it. I do have an older one, but still the album's incredible. I am tempted to get another one just because I really like the variation of it. Now, Operation Doomsday, which is MF Doom's like debut album. Lots of great songs, though I am realizing I have my MF Doom albums out of order. Let's fix that. And then Mad Villainy, which if you listen to MF Doom and you listen to hip-hop in general, is probably one of the albums you have to have. Like, I want to do a video about it eventually, but I want to be good, so I'm taking some time to actually write down a lot of my thoughts. Now then, we're getting into my Tyler, the Creator section. I have Goblin. Goblin is a very interesting album. I'll eventually talk about it, but not right now. Wolf. I like Wolf a lot. I gave this album like an 8 out of 10. I think it's great. I really love how much Tyler, the Creator, puts into some of these projects. Like, especially, for one thing, I mentioned I'm a fan of the colored vinyl. This has a nice pink pressing to it. But, like, I also got a giant sticker of just Tyler, the Creator's face that I put on my car. And that makes me smile every time I see it. Next, Flower Boy. Flower Boy's another great record. Boredom's one of my favorite tracks off of this. And, you know, Who's That Boy? Like, again, I've talked about this record before. Really great. I'm a pretty big Tyler, the Creator fan. Of course, we got Igor. Igor really started to spark my interest in him, but like just continuing listening on. As soon as I heard this, I knew I had to buy it, and luckily you could get it almost anywhere. Very popular record. Now, Call Me If You Get Lost, The Estate Sale. I'm going to be listening through on this pretty soon. I love this record. And then, once again, talking about Tyler's packaging. This one is so amazing. It opens up all the way. Oh. And then it's got a big-ass book of all the song lyrics and all the different details and all kinds of pictures on it. And the actual pressing of the vinyls are blue. Once again, I'm a fan of anything that has some color to it. Like, this record, definitely worth it if you haven't, like, checked it out. If you're trying to start a vinyl collection, this is one of the ones I really suggest. And I've said it before, but Tyler, the Creator's like packaging on a lot of these vinyl albums is just like lovely. He always throws in something cool. They're worth it almost just about every time. And then to close out my Tyler, the Creator collection, of course, we have Chromacopia. I don't remember which number I got. I think I have the sticker in here. I listen to this stuff. I don't really collect it to collect it. I collect it to listen and because I want to give a little more dedication to like the music. I don't remember which one I got, but Chromacopia. Really cool album. My only real, it's also a green variant, so a lot of my colors are from Tyler, the Creator's records. My only like reason that I'm not too 100% on it is because it doesn't have Balloon, but it does have Mother, and Mother is a really cool song too. Okay, next getting into our J. Cole bag. So 2014 Forest Hill Drive. This is a really cool record. You know, it just had that 10th anniversary edition, which I'm hoping to get eventually. But yeah. Next, For Your Eyes Only. I've talked about these records briefly too, and For Your Eyes Only I think is my favorite J. Cole album. Just really awesome songs, really awesome message, and it's kind of interesting. I feel like it's the one where he talks the least about wanting to be the best, but I feel like it's his best. K.O.D. I love the artwork for this, especially. Like, he really did some cool stuff, and I think the album's a lot better than a lot of people give it credit for. I know there's a couple tunes that don't, like, have the same feeling. I want to say, what was it? Once an Addict is probably not my favorite, but I still absolutely love the album. And then we're getting back into some more classic rock after that. Eric Clapton. I don't even know which album this is. It's one of Eric Clapton's albums. Next, Stevie Wonder. So I'm a very big Stevie Wonder fan too. We have Talking Book. These are older records. I want to say I just picked this up from a local person when I saw it. Of course, I have Songs in the Key of Life, which is another cool pressing because it comes with like that book. Anytime a vinyl record comes with a book, I am just sold. You know, that's kind of how my mind works. I like getting things that have more things in them. Next. And this is when my collection starts to get a little more spaced out. But Hotter Than July, another one of my favorite Stevie Wonder records. Master Blaster is a personal favorite. All I Do is really cool. Oh God. Happy Birthday. So I'm not a big fan of the song Happy Birthday for you, but this is the way it should be. Like, it doesn't drone on, it doesn't waste my time. Much better than your typical Happy Birthday. That hurts my soul to keep seeing that. All right. So this is actually a vinyl I picked up out in Sacramento at a local show. I don't even really remember this band too much. I know Jason Achilles is like the person who made it. Jason Achilles Mazilis, I'm saying. Come Down. So this is like an indie musician, but when I saw him live, it was really fascinating. They're the type of live looping performance. So I just happen to have this in my collection, and I'm happy to. Now, this is just a case. I don't know why I have that. Mountain Climbing. You know Mississippi Queen? That's off of this album. And I just am such a fan of the wizard on the front. And the name. The band's name is Mountain. The album's name is Climbing. Like, these guys thought of that. That is something special. All right. Then I got some Rolling Stones. I don't have this complete vinyl. I believe it was like destroyed. I got this, I think, as just a gift. Somebody gave it to me. I'm not a big Rolling Stones fan in general, but hey, I take what I can take. Miles Davis, The Essentials Miles Davis. I'm a big trumpet fan. I don't know if you've seen me play trumpet in any of my videos. I wish I was a better trumpet player. I kind of regret spending so much time on guitar. I wish I spent that on more instruments. But hey, Jerry Garcia. So this is like one of Jerry Garcia's first solo albums. This one has quite a few good ones. It's got Deal on the album. It's got Bird Song, you know, To Lay Me Down. It's got The Wheel, co-written by Robert Hunter a lot. So real cool. John Mayer, Sob Rock. I think I was going through a John Mayer phase when I got this. I do like the vinyl once again. It's more of a clear teal. But, you know, I don't talk about this album that much. I'm not a huge John Mayer fan. Though, I like it. I like it for what it is. Next, guitar chords. I don't need this. Oh, this was an old thing somebody made for me. I'm not going to talk about those. We got Tool, Lateralis, however you want to pronounce it. You know, if you're into more prog rock, this is one of my favorite actual prog rock. It's not my favorite Tool album, though. But the art is really cool, though it does make it a little difficult to know which side is which. I have a hard time. Am I listening to side A, side B, side C, side D? You kind of just got to know the songs to know where you're at. Now then, John Coltrane, which is more into my jazz bag again. I love Supreme. So, you know, this is a classic in experimental jazz. It's really just the one song throughout it. And it's absolutely incredible experimental playing. Huge fan. Prince, Purple Rain. Purple Rain, Purple Rain. And I believe this actually is a purple variant of it. Yep. Really lovely. I don't know if you can see the different, like, coloration on it, but wow. Great album. If you like music, you should get this album. And then Prince, Welcome to America. So this album came out after Prince died. I've talked about this in one of my other quick video breakdowns. Unfortunately, I'm not as big of a fan of this album after listening to it a couple times. It does have a clear variant to it, and I always think that's cool. But it just does not hold up as well. I think there's a reason Prince didn't release this album, and I'm sure he wanted to work on it more. But hey, that's where we're at. Now, Black Sabbath. This is a live Black Sabbath album. You know, it's got a couple great tunes on it. It's got all of this live, and I love listening to live music. I feel like that's where the magic is. Sweet Leaf starts out, you know, Hand of Doom, Hole in the Sky. Iron Man, one of my favorite Black Sabbath songs is M.A.A.D, so I love being able to listen to that live. We got Carlos Santana, Supernatural. And this also has some really cool packaging. I like how I have the book just actually attached to it. And also Carlos Santana, Abraxas. So that's real cool. I got another Eric Clapton record here. I think this is just at his best, so it's got a lot of his greatest hits essentially. And I just like the way that it opens up at the top instead of the normal thing. Next, John Prine. So this is John Prine's self-titled. It's got some of the best folk writing I have heard in my life on this album. Continuing on, Stevie Ray Vaughan, Essential Stevie Ray Vaughan, starting into my blues bag, followed by immediately Jimi Hendrix, Access Bold as Love, and I just love the way this album actually goes about everything. The artwork is incredible. You know, Jimi Hendrix is another one of those figures I wish we had for like 70 more years. He would have just kept making really cool music. I got Cream, Disraeli Gears, more into my Eric Clapton bag. I like Eric Clapton, but he's one of those controversial figures, you know. Now then, this is another John Prine. This is the Best of John Prine album, which has a lot of great John Prine songs. But he's more of an artist that I like to listen to just piece by piece by piece. I'm never that big of a fan of greatest hits. Next, Louis Armstrong, Mac the Knife. I think I was in Reno when I picked this up. I've mentioned earlier how I'm a big trumpet fan, and this is one of my favorite trumpet musical albums. You know, dun 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 dun. Now then, I was hunting for a long time for a Chet Atkins record. If you know anything, I'm actually pretty into Chet Atkins' playing style. I think it's fascinating. So I just happened to pick this up when I found it. Pretty good. They do a couple songs that, you know, I'm sure you would know if you listened to it. A lot of the time on these records, they like to do covers of other popular things in an instrumental style, and it's really cool to listen to Chet pick them apart. Next, Jeff Beck and the Yardbirds. So this is a Jeff Beck album. I like Jeff Beck a lot. I mentioned earlier, but I play guitar, so this is kind of an inspiration for a lot of the guitar playing. And finally, Scott Joplin. So this has a lot of really old ragtime music on it. I found this at a Goodwill for 50 cents. And I always try to get inspiration from wherever I can. Well, anyway, that's the collection, folks. What do I have that's interesting? What should I have that I don't have? Anything you would throw out and just burn? Anyway, so long. My name is Richard Durazo. I don't think I'm going to edit this at all. I'm just going to post it and see what happens. Bye-bye.